When it comes to Iran, the United States has threatened sweeping new sanctions on those who refuse to cut economic ties with Iran. And the US says it's expanding the categories of Iran-related conduct that could trigger future sanctions within the realms of including digital, tech, shipping. Even worsening inflation is affecting many of Iranians. Videos on social media now showing empty markets in Tehran and Karaj, with sellers complaining of their struggle to sell fresh produce. The US presses on.
We are launching an economic onslaught against Iran's financial connections around the globe. Our objective is to sever every economic lifeline that sustains this tyrannical regime until Tehran stands alone. This is economic asphyxiation of this regime.
Joining me now, Tom Keatinge, the director of the Center for Finance and Security at RUSI, the Royal United Services Institute. On this program, Janet Yellen, former Treasury Secretary, says, look, it's the right idea to cut these ties, to actually put the pressure on. But I guess the market and the people are saying is, does this going to work? Is it going to be possible to take these sanctions to the next secondary level?
Well, the thing about sanctions is you need friends alongside you in order to get them to work. That's what the United States did last time in the Obama administration when it managed to persuade Iran to come to the negotiation table. The US has soldiered on down this path with Iran essentially on its own. I said in London, people aren't talking about this issue here in London. They're not talking about it in Europe. And we can't, I think, imagine that Europeans and others will be shoulder to shoulder with the United States on this. So a lot of talk, but I just wonder actually whether Iran will feel the pressure that Secretary Bessent would like them to feel.
Are Europeans going to go along with it? Because the Europeans, to some extent, this may be a war that was a war of choice from the United States. But at the same time, the Europeans don't want Iran to get a nuclear device. And if there's a perception that these sanctions will make that more difficult, wouldn't Europeans be wise to support it?
Well, they might do if that was the mission. But of course, the mission from the White House keeps changing. And the conversations I have in London and Brussels are sort of baffled about, well, what is it you're actually trying to achieve here? Are you trying to dismantle financial infrastructure? Are you trying to stop oil trade with China? I mean, at the end of the day, the threat on these sanctions is not so much against Iran, it's against third countries and secondary sanctions. So it just is extremely muddled. And I had hoped to hear some clarity today from Secretary Bessent after his comments last week, his writings over the weekend. But we just remain, I think, in the dark as to precisely what is going to happen. Now, that might be part of the strategy.
Right.
It remains to be seen.
He didn't mention any countries. Besides, obviously, China, who do you think is most at risk from the secondary sanctions, particularly as it relates to dollar clearing, dollar trading?
Well, an ally like the UAE must be very nervous. I mean, the UAE is not exactly known for the cleanliness of its banking system. And Iran has very effectively, wittingly or otherwise on the part of the Emiratis, used the UAE for many, many years. So is the US Treasury really prepared to lean on the Emiratis to the extent it would need to? And that's not just throwing a few exchange houses under the bus and sanctioning them. That's actually going after some of the big Emirati banks that have connections to the royal family, the leading family in the United Arab Emirates. That's a big thing for the United States to do against a crucial ally.
Tom, I'm grateful for you tonight for joining us. Thank you, sir.